On many days, you'll find Jennifer Jaco on a high school or college campus. Jennifer's not a teacher or student, but a crusader determined to warn kids about their risk of becoming infected with HIV.
Okay, folks, I want to introduce you to Jennifer Jaco. She is a young activist, HIV activist. She's got lots to tell you, and you can ask lots of questions, okay?
I'm really happy about this opportunity because it's very casual, so today's like a real treat for me.
Jennifer's life has been deeply affected by the AIDS virus, as have many young people of her generation. Today, over half of all new HIV infections are in people under the age of 25.
Our generation is dealing with something no other generation's dealt with. They haven't. They've never dealt with a deadly virus that's transmitted by loving one another.
Jennifer's message is all too familiar to Doug Stubblefield, another young person infected with HIV. Growing up in Southern California, Doug was the all-American boy. In high school, he surfed, played volleyball, and served on the student council. But his life changed dramatically when he went to college and revealed that he was gay.
I came out when I was 20 years old, when I was a junior in college down in San Diego, and that coming out period was very rough for me.
Doug decided to move to San Francisco, settling in the city's largest gay neighborhood, the Castro District.
I felt like I was having a hard time adjusting, being this beach boy from Southern California. So I kind of did whatever I had to do to fit in. Definitely things that I shouldn't have been doing, but at 23 years old, you don't realize that.
Like Doug, Jennifer Jaco grew up with old-fashioned parents and old-fashioned values. She was a good kid, got good grades, and didn't date until her late teens. No one in her circle of family and friends thought much about HIV or AIDS. But after she graduated from high school, Jennifer was eager to change her lifestyle. She started to party and date.
When I did lose my virginity, I didn't think to protect myself from sexually transmitted infections. All I was thinking about was a very old-time fear, which is pregnancy.
Unlike Jennifer, Doug was well aware of the risks of HIV and how to protect himself. He went to AIDS prevention meetings and even promised his parents that he'd be careful. But Doug's freewheeling lifestyle continued. He never thought HIV could happen to him.
The night that I feel like I ended up contracting HIV was a night that, like I said, I definitely remember. And I do remember thinking, oh, this is risky behavior. But it was somebody that I knew, that I felt comfortable with. We talked about using condoms, and I said, you know what, it doesn't really matter to me whether we use them or not, which was stupid. You know, I mean, I just can't believe that I did that.
Jennifer Jaco would also make a similar and costly choice.
One young man who I had ended up at a party with, we just drank a lot, and it was thoughtless, hormonal moment that meant very little, where he wanted to have sex. I didn't really care because I was drunk. And the next day was both of us feeling horrible.
The experience was so disturbing, Jennifer chose to stop having sex. But it was too late. 9 months later, she underwent a series of routine medical tests. After a couple of weeks, she was called back to the clinic. It's a story she often shares in her lectures.
As soon as the doctor came in, all he had to say was, Jennifer, your pap smear is normal, but I'm sorry, your HIV test is positive. And from that minute forward, my whole life fell apart. I mean, everything I dreamed of, everything that I had worked so hard for, I mean, to go to college, everything fell apart because I finally understood I was vulnerable. But somehow I thought it happened to other people. Somehow I thought that the only people who got HIV, who had AIDS, were like gay men and people who used IV drugs. Not somebody I knew, especially not these like very fine, young men that had been my boyfriends. There's no way.
Doug's lifestyle had also caught up with him. In January of 1998, he became seriously ill with fever, fatigue, and body rashes. Later, he underwent a blood test.
I tested positive on June 18th of 1998, 4 days before my 24th birthday. And I still kind of want to shoot myself every now and then because I look back on it going, if only I would have just kind of paid attention or cared about myself more and realized that I was going to be okay instead of I kind of threw some ideals out the window.
Both Doug and Jennifer now have to deal with the consequences of a night that will haunt them for the rest of their lives. For Jennifer, who has had the virus for 8 years, medication is now a mainstay in her life.
It's an awful twice daily reminder.
It has taken months for Doug to accept his condition, but now he is committed to helping other young people understand that HIV can happen to them.
A lot of times people are still scared to disclose, hey, I'm HIV positive, and they're afraid that they're going to get chased away. So it still needs to be on the forefront of everyone's minds, especially the gay community.
Jennifer is also determined to break the silence before it's too late.
I don't want to see another school having to find out that one of their students is HIV positive, and that being the motivator to finally bring education into their schools.
And her first priority remains sharing her story so that young people won't follow in her footsteps.
And what I most want is that from your experience here today, you walk out of this room and you're going to make choices in your life that make you have the best life possible. Thanks a lot for all your time. Take good care.